Hi, Joel Munch here, and welcome. Today I'm going to talk about a vital competency for high performance at any level in business. And that competency is building networks. But why is it so important? Well, let's set the stage and talk about something else first: fear. Not your own fear. Let's assume you have that under control. We're going to talk about other people's fear, the kind that gets in your way, and what to do about it. Throughout my career, I've had to constantly navigate around or through other people's fear. You probably know who around you has fear driving their behavior. Those with enough fear about what you're doing will blindside you. How their fear shows up doesn't matter. All that does matter is that you know it's out there. Their fear is a problem and stands between you and your success. We all deal with our own fears and likely spend time helping others cope with their fears as well. Throughout my career, I've watched fear drive a significant amount of behavior, some good, but mostly bad. Fear is, for the most part, unhealthy for our mental state. Research has shown that our brain function decreases when we're operating in fear. Our survival instincts take over and we lose creativity and critical decision-making abilities. More often than not, those in fear display behavior that's harmful rather than helpful. If you're in their line of fire, you're the one getting beat up, and they're just doing it out of control. Now, are they a jerk? I know that thought's crossed your mind. Or is fear the reason for their irrational and aggressive behavior? Here are three of the most common forces driving fear at work and how you can provoke, unfortunately, the fear response. Number one, power. Is what you're doing challenging someone's authority or threatening the control someone has? Number two, pride. Is what you're doing going to prove someone's previous decision wrong or sound like you're calling someone stupid without actually using those words? And number three, is what you're doing likely going to hurt someone's income or put someone's job at risk? If what you're doing could be perceived as a threat to anyone's power, pride, or money, then you're up against fear whether you like it or not. Even if you know you're doing the right thing, the potential consequences perceived by others can create a wall of fear that's growing larger and larger every day. In many cases, by the time you notice, it will be too late to get them on your side. You are the enemy, and it can seem like no matter what you do, they're still looking for every chance they have to throw you under the bus. So you now find yourself in a difficult spot with expectations from others that you're moving forward and getting the job done. However, there are haters out there. In the worst of situations, their level of fear will be enough to try to get you fired. This may seem extreme, but I've watched it happen. So let's discuss what you should be doing. The competency I'm talking about is building networks. When done well, you'll be working through formal and informal channels to build relationships and support you need to not only keep your job, but to achieve your success. Depending on how much time you think you have, the immediate need is to work on the relationships with your most difficult opponents. Put your own fear aside and show up. In my experience, showing up can turn the corner on an aggressive opponent. However, those who are consistently against you for a strong fear-based reason will often waste more of your time than you have. At this point, your goal is to understand what is important to them and move on. If you can't work through the fears of your worst opponents, it's time to go around them. Leverage your ability to build networks and build those networks of people that can form an alliance whenever you need it. No surprise, you should have been building your network long before you needed it. That's okay. I've been thrown into lots of situations with no time to build a network, nor have the necessary relationships before moving forward. There always ways to do it quickly. How you accomplish this needs to play to your strengths. Now is not the time to try new skills you don't have. Understand your strengths and use them to build your networks and the relationships with key people you need for your success. If you aren't sure of your strengths and have some time, get an executive coach. For clients of mine, this is where we focus first, applying existing strengths to build networks and applying those strengths to handle the hard stuff of today, while developing new competencies for future challenges. Your networks can be formal or informal, but it really should be both. And the people you have in your network does matter, especially if you're feeling threatened today. When faced with a wall of fear blocking your path, you'll pick from your network to build an alliance. An alliance is merely a subset of your network to help you when resistance escalates beyond what you can handle alone. Your alliance might be formal and called a steering committee. In many cases, the alliance will be informal and consist of individuals you pick from your network. Here are 3 qualifications for ideal members of your alliance. First, they should have some level of power, real power within the organization, meaning they have political influence, either formal or informal. Second, they're willing to offer up constructive feedback and help you adjust your tactics. And third, they're capable of redirecting irrational attacks that you are most certainly coming up against. Your best alliance members have both organizational savvy and an ability to calm down resistance, even when it may seem out of control. You probably know who these people are. So make sure you understand how what you're doing affects them. Be upfront with the challenges you're facing and then listen to what they say. Sometimes your best alliance members are ones who rightfully have a little fear of what you're doing, but believe in the direction you're going. Just be sure to ask for and listen to their feedback. Failing to listen could quickly lose your best allies when you need them the most. Now that your network building has paid off and you've been able to form an alliance to help you when you most need it, there's one rule. Keep the communication going. You don't need to, nor should you tell them everything you're doing. Avoid giving status updates. You need conversation rather than passive bystanders. Ask for feedback every chance you get. When done the right way, you will spend more time listening than talking. Be authentic and care about their perspectives. Now that you have the power of your network and your pick of alliance members to help guide you along the difficult road ahead, don't stop now. Keep building your network. Remember, when up against the fears of others, you're only as strong as your network. So spend less time on your slide decks and spreadsheets. Those won't save you, but your network will. No matter where you work, always be building your network. Thank you for listening. I hope this was helpful. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. If you have any comments, enter those below. Thank you. Goodbye.